This podcast contains strong language and sarcasm.
Two Idiots, One Shot, a podcast with a flawed mind.
Let's go.
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back,
Back
bitches?
again.
Seriously though, we need to take this a bit serious, yo. Hi guys, it's
We are back.
we are back indeed, and it's
4 months has it been.
fucking crazy, you know.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow, 4 months.
But as you guys can tell, we definitely stepped up the game.
New studio, guys. New studio. You see,
New studio.
on
Look
air.
at these microphones. When we used to record with like
Bro.
Apple headsets and stuff.
Bro, like right now, yeah, I feel like some Logan Paul thing, you know, where like, I keep moving the mic around, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just for the camera, like.
Oh, that's it. It's just all for you guys, just for the camera. Oh, by the way, I'm pointing that way because there's a camera pointing towards me.
And this one, yeah, is another camera. If you're interested, anyway. Yeah, man, we are.
Shall
back.
we talk about a little bit about why we decided to take a bit of a break?
Yeah. Was it a conscious decision or just how things turned out? Kind of both. maybe.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think for me it was a bit of both. So by the way, we've got a few new tools, and that thing just keeps laughing now. Right? So I think you might have to press it again for it to stop.
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh, okay, thank you. So Jan's got a few new toys, so you're gonna see this as a.
I have a lot of fun today.
All right, no, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
So to the 27 listeners that we have, why have we not been uploading? It's the latter part of last year was a bit difficult for me, I have to admit. Things didn't really go to plan. It just sort of felt like I was sliding from sort of, a bad experience into another. And although, like, I'm very big on, be positive, keep a positive mindset, and, just keep pushing through it, it just really became very, very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
And, this is where it's like, was it a conscious decision, or did you, deliberately do it? I suppose, you didn't have a great ending to last year either.
No.
So, a lot of sort of happened where I was just like, you know what, maybe it's just the best thing to take a break right now.
Yeah.
I started to also feel a bit like, I have to go and do this. And it's never a good thing when I start feeling like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, same as you mentioned. I also, me and my girlfriend, we went through a little trauma. So yeah, I need to look after myself. I need to look after my girlfriend, or we need to look after ourselves. And I was just wasn't really in the right headspace to record a podcast and kind of pretend like, hey, yeah, everything's funny. Yeah, let's have a good laugh. Which is probably would help. But yeah, as you said, it just didn't feel right. And I had the same kind of feeling. Like it felt a bit like a burden, like an effort. Or I need to record another episode. We didn't have, because we also like we started like we want to do it proper, so we do it weekly, blah blah.
Yeah.
Which was, I think it was a good idea. No regrets. But we also realized at some point, okay, for a weekly podcast episode, you also have like enough topics to talk about every week. You need to be loaded. You can't just ramble away. And to be fair, kind of like apologize to our handful of listeners.
Yeah.
I know like a few episodes were just like kind of meaningless. We had nothing to tell. Nothing. Like just like you guys like listening to a kind of a phone call to us. And this is why we also decided, like, I know how it was for you, but not gonna lie, I had a few moments in between and our break where I wasn't even 100% sure if we are coming back, to be fair. I knew I want to do this again, but there were like these moments like, are we actually picking it up again, blah, blah. But as you can tell now, we do, and it feels right. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, and I think what I was meant to say is we done some changes.
Yeah.
We now go more like quality over quantity. Our podcast now will be fortnightly. Every other week, we will have more guests. We will be better prepared.
And we're going to be recording in a studio.
Yes.
An actual studio, guys.
I know we fucked up sound quality quite a bit. this will be a thing of the past. I'm very confident to say.
Absolutely. I think it's important. I think the fact that we did start last year just at a point where we didn't even know exactly, how we wanted the podcast to look. I think,
I like the fact that we just started.
yeah. Do you know,
Like,
that's
in the
exactly
middle of
what
the
it is.
lockdown, in the middle of a global depression, we should say, yeah, come on, let's do a podcast. And
Yeah,
we just went ahead and done it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think the fact that we just started and, we also decided, to listen to the audience and to sort of sort of adapt our style as well, because, unless you sort of listen and sort of go with what they, what your listeners want to listen to, your podcast is just not going to be along for a long time, is it?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to season 2. I think it's going to be epic. We will have a lot more guests on, and these are going to be people that somehow have either impressed us in some sort of way, or people that we've worked with in the past together, where we think they've got an amazing story to tell, or just someone completely random. It could be just someone that we met that has an interesting story. So we're opening the podcast up from, trying to aim to be like a completely photography orientated podcast to, do you know what, this is going to just be like two idiots babbling away. We're going to talk about the things that we want to talk about. And Two Idiots, One Shot is still going to be Two Idiots, One Shot. And we're still going to host our group shoots and everything. But podcast itself, the sort of range of topics that we're going to talk about is just going to open up, because we noticed that last year, didn't we? Well, we love talking about all sorts of things, if it's interesting, we're there.
Yeah.
So,
And although we're both like passionate photographers, but we're not this kind of like technic nerds, these other photography or photography YouTubers who talk about the newest camera who comes out, or like this and that. And like, I know he shoots on a Canon, was it
Canon 90D.
90D. I shoot on an old Sony A1, A7, A7 Mark One, basically. So we're not this like geeky
well, not yet. Canon, if you're watching this, please hook me up.
I wouldn't mind Sony ambassadorship as well.
You see,
but yeah, like it's actually quite hard to find a lot of topics in terms of photography.
100%.
Especially in a podcast. Like video-wise, it's different. You could do all kinds of tutorials and stuff, but on a podcast, and like we used to talk a lot about our shoots, but then it's all the same, because it's a shoot at the end of the day.
It was so amazing working with this and this person. Oh, what a beautiful location. Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely. You got to check them out there. But, it becomes boring after a while.
Yeah. There are some certain shoots with like certain funny situations. I will never forget the situation where you encountered Jeff's boyfriend the first time, and you looked at him like a car.
All right, listen, guys. All right, let's just quickly talk about this, right? So he talks about this all the time, and I was just genuinely just surprised. He wasn't there the whole day, right? So maybe I should give you a bit of context, right? So we did the shoot at a studio called Neon Dream Studios, and a good friend of ours, Jess, came along, and at the time when she came along, she came by cab, right? So she was on her own, and I didn't even know that her boyfriend was coming to pick her up or anything.
Never mind that she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, never mind that she has. Exactly. I didn't even know that, right? So I'm now literally I'm setting up the scene. I'm trying to shoot this, right? And suddenly, I just, out of nowhere, there's this huge guy, just standing. Now I'm tall, I'm 6'9", but this guy was huge, and he's standing behind me, and I was just like, what's this presence behind me, right? So I turn around, I look at him, and I'm like, yo, I look there, yo, can I help you? Yo, Jess looks at me and goes, it's like, yeah, that's, I forgot what her boyfriend's name was, but she goes like, oh yeah, this and this is my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, sweet, sorry man, I didn't know. You're the most randomest thing. Why would someone just randomly walk into a studio, right?
Because before you said anything, you followed him with your eyes like for at least like a minute, like what is this guy doing here? Like, who is he? Like, why is he in the studio? Like,
yo, can I help you? But yeah, so Funny story. How did this just come up? How did this just come up? Thank you. So how did this just come up?
That I said we don't want to talk. That we're not just talking about shoots anymore, but
That's
there will
it,
be certain situations from certain shoots.
Yeah.
Or
that's
like
it.
shoots which have like nice stories to tell, for example.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're taking it a bit more serious, and we hope that you guys check out our YouTube channel as well, Two Idiots One Shot.
Yeah.
You know,
But
have
we're
a look.
still the two idiots. This is important.
Yeah,
you
that's-
can we step up the game. You can see it. This definitely it looks different and better, and it will sound much better as it used to sound before. But it doesn't mean that we're still like two bloody idiots. Like
Like we really are.
I mean,
like-
to be fair, today nothing bad has happened so far.
No, nothing bad happened apart from the fact that we got here at 9:20 and the studio wasn't booked till 11 o'clock. Yeah, nothing bad happened. Oh god, we are really two idiots in it. But yeah, so that's really where we've been over the last 4 months. So sorry that we've left you alone for a little bit. And apart from that, I think we've got some great guests that we're currently speaking to that we've got lined up. I can actually give you a little spoiler as well. So the first guest we're going to have on is going to be a lovely lady called Rebecca Parry. And shout out Rebecca Parry model, I believe, on Instagram. And Rebecca, we've worked with Rebecca before, and Rebecca has got just this incredible view on life that I think is just so amazing. So we want to bring her on the podcast and get her to share some insights, some stories about how she became a model, how to become a successful model, how to maintain that status, and just genuinely have a little chat.
A very interesting thing about her is she might be the first model who's like doing NFTs with her work.
Yeah,
of her work.
That's a little spoiler. We're not going to go into that today.
No,
we're not doing that.
But yeah, definitely someone who has a lot to tell. Very interesting person. Very interesting background. You're actually sneezing your nose now.
No. I just wiped my nose. I knew exactly what would happen if I blow my nose. Stop. Seriously, stop, man.
Oh, I love the studio already.
Oh, brilliant.
Shall we do a quick shout out for the studio? Because
go for
the
it.
hospitality was mad. Like, so
Go for it.
each of us, we went online to look for podcast studios. And there are a lot of studios in London. We booked 2 different studios for now. And today is like the first time we are in the studio. It's a tiny studio, but it got everything we need.
Yeah.
And even more important, the hospitality of the studio host, of the studio owners, like beyond, like they're really on it.
Very nice.
And they have very reasonable prices. So if you need a podcast studio or a recording studio in general, Fresh Media Productions .com, I guess, or just check the Instagram. Place to go. I'm very happy with this. I
100%.
could see us here, maybe not the last time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not too far for us as well, so this is very good. Yeah, man. So this is just a little comeback episode from us. So this is season 2. We're kicking it off. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about, please do comment under the video. Let us know in the comments section. Check us out on Spotify and all of your streaming platforms.
Exactly.
Now, I believe that sort of covers off where we've been and what sort of the future plan is. There is something else I would like to talk about today, and that's just something that's very, very sort of how do you say it? Actual. It's very
current?
immediate. It's very current, yeah. Which is obviously the crisis that's currently going on in the Ukraine. Now, please, before I go into this, right, I want you guys to understand, by no means am I an expert, right? I'm just speaking from the heart. This is just how I feel, and so
this also counts for me. I have opinions on it. I don't know if it's right or wrong opinions. I'm not an expert. I basically just knows what I get from the media.
That's it. You know, like to a certain degree, I feel like, you know, like I just sort of need to like say it out loud or talk to someone about it or just understand does someone else feel the same way? Because, you know, like the thing that this thing in Ukraine is showing me right now is first of all, unless it's on your doorstep, no one's going to give a shit,
Yeah.
right? And the other thing for me is like just the sheer sort of ruthlessness and the sheer disregard for something that I believed in. Like I believed in democracy, bruv. Like forever, you know. I was like, I live a free life. I am the one that makes my decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it turns out, bro, no, you know, like anyone could literally come in and take that away from you, and the world ain't gonna do shit.
Democracy just works if everyone plays along, doesn't it? And I mean, the Ukraine used to be a solid, proper democracy, but yeah, Putin decides to actually take it the other way, and I know it's hard to watch. And you know what kind of like has the most impact for me is this is the first time I see something in the news, and I need to say I was kind of too much obsessed with it. The last 2 days, I said to myself I needed a little break from it. Obviously, like keep on top of the news, but I was watching it the whole day. Like while I was working, always news on and stuff, and it definitely got into my mind. And I completely lost the sort of train of thought. What was I up to?
You're watching a lot of news.
Yeah, it's the first time that I see something happening and I'm actually feeling anxious about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the moment where Putin was putting his nuclear weapons on high alert. It's like, fucking hell, man. This guy, like, it gives me proper Hitler vibes. And you don't know what his final destination is. And because we all used to say, like, the expert used to say, like, nah, he's putting it on high alert, but he probably won't use his nuclear weapons. But, like, 2 weeks before, we used to say, like, yeah, but he probably won't invade the Ukraine. So he's not really the most trustworthy person anymore, is it? Like,
that's it, you know. Like I personally find like I think you might have done something to your mic because I suddenly don't hear you on my headphones anymore.
what? Can't you hear me anymore?
Come closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now you're back. Okay, cool. Sorry, that was me. No, what?
Sorry, maybe it's not the topic to play some nice, funny.
The podcast is called Two Idiots, One Shot. I do apologize. He is an idiot. I think this is proof. No, it's bro. Do you know what? Yeah, like I'm finding it. What I'm finding very difficult to comprehend is this the sheer devastation of, like, you know, like the amount of like people that are dying for an unnecessary reason, and it's on both sides, isn't it? And it's not just Ukrainians that are being discriminated against; it's Russians as well.
Yeah.
You know, like they like not obviously not everyone's for it, yeah, but the amount of shit that they have to take right now, and you know, like for example, like, and this is just a very, very like high level example. Like I said, I'm not an expert, right? Yeah, but I love Formula One, and the Haas Formula One team had a Russian sponsor, which came with a Russian driver, and obviously both is no longer there. I understand like that the sponsor is obviously like close with Putin, and that, you know, the driver's dad is close with Putin. Like I get all of that, but what's the driver got to do with this? Do you know, like, and it's although don't get me wrong, Mazepin is not a great driver. He's called, like, they've nicknamed him Mazespin. You know, like that's literally what he does. Yeah, he just spins around, right? But my point is, it's like, if even someone like that's in, you know, that's such a high profile, you know, and like that has got what you feel like the fame and whatnot, gets so much hate. Yeah, imagine these people, bro, like that don't have that, you know, that where you just like, I don't know, like you live like with neighbors that know that you're Russian and they're just a bit crank in the head, you know, and that's it.
What do you think about the football side of it? You know, like all the teams refuse to play against Russia, or Russia teams are excluded now from the national tournaments. What do you think about this? Initially, I was like, yeah, it's a fair decision, but it's
You see, with it's a double-edged sword. Like, you know, like I'm finding it very difficult not to understand why they're saying we will not play them. At the same time, I'm finding it very difficult to comprehend what do these players have to do with it? It's not them.
Yeah.
But obviously, and again, I think in the spirit of things, in the bigger terms, right? I think the idea is, look, we're gonna do all of this because we want to make you understand war is just not acceptable, and if you go down that route, we're gonna exclude you.
Yeah.
But isn't exclusion what's gotten us to this place in the first? And. Again, there's certain things about this Ukraine war that don't sit well with me either. And it's just like, for example, when politicians come out and say, yeah, we had our suspicion that he would walk into Ukraine, and stuff like that. We've had it for so and so long. And I'm like, okay, so when you've had these suspicions for so and so long, why didn't you do something about it? Why did you, Ukraine never, ever wanted this war, right? Everyone kept pressuring them and saying, come and join the NATO, come and join the NATO, come and join the NATO. Now the biggest, baddest bully in the yard is coming after you and is saying, do you know what? I'm going to beat the living life out of you, and everyone's going to watch and say nothing.
We sent you everything we have, but you need to fight on your own. Don't get us involved.
Bro, and...
It's like back in the days when you were in trouble and you call your friends, and they sent you some, I don't know, everyone sends you a baseball bat, but no one's helping you. Like, okay, nice, I have 20 baseball bats. But
I'm still getting
on my own, man.
And it's things like that I'm finding really hard to sort of even wrap my head around, where I'm like, is this life, bro? If stuff like that happens to me, are you going to just look away? To a certain degree, I feel guilty that I'm not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
There's so many mixed emotions in me right now, right? Where I'm like, bro, I haven't posted, genuinely, I haven't posted on Instagram, even before this whole Ukraine stuff happened. I'm not saying that this is the only reason why I haven't posted. But since it has happened, I feel very uneasy posting anything. Because, anything that I sort of have on my Instagram is it's I don't know, it's just, it doesn't fit the situation right now. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? And am I wrong for feeling like this, or are you wrong for not feeling like this? And if yes, why? Why do you not feel like this? I'm trying to understand, how was I raised so differently to you? Shouldn't our morals, shouldn't they be the same?
Yeah, definitely.
It really blows my mind. And it's like when kids come up to you, like my best mate's little one, 8 years old, she comes up to me. She goes why are they fighting in Ukraine? And I'm like, what am I meant to say to that?
No.
I literally just said, because people are greedy.
No. Yeah. It's basically it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a hard topic. I know. I obviously went to the protest a few times now. There are protests since the first day of the invasion. I think every day protest, either in front of Downing Street or Trafalgar Square, or in front of the Russian embassy. And I mean, I went to a lot of protests right now, but this one, I would say, together with the first Black Lives Matter protest 2 years ago, when the Judge Floyd, I won't call it an incident because it was manslaughter basically, but you know what I mean, happened. And also the Sarah Everett protest. But yeah, it has felt a bit different, because there were so many people, and I kind of realized, because there were like a reporter team working around interviewing people, and I quite quickly realized all these people here in London, like British citizens, have at this moment they have relatives over in Ukraine. You know what I mean? They all know people who are involved in a war right now. And so for me, it felt like this is the whole situation, not just the protest, but for me, it feels like this is the closest to a war I've ever been.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm still far away, but it's not even that far away. I mean, like the Ukraine border is like 600 kilometers from Berlin, for example. So it is quite close.
I told this man to stop kissing his teeth, we get him there this season. We get him there.
What I really loved about this protest is I went to three following days, actually. Always just for an hour. I just done a stop over.
I saw some of the pictures that you posted.
Over on my way to other shootings and stuff. The amount of people from different heritages, from different origins, was insane. There were like literally people from every country, also a lot of Russian people. Like I would even say like maybe 1/4 or 1/3 were Russian people standing like side by side with Ukrainian people. This was really heartwarming to see. And I think this is something we need to be very, very carefully now, that we don't, or that the world is not like generating like an hate of Russian people.
Oh, bro,
It's not the Russian civilians, isn't it? It's obviously there are a few like, or there's still a lot of like Putin supporters, but I reckon even the Putin supporters in Russia, they say like, okay, this is definitely borderline. This is too far. But yeah, because this is, I think, I think because this war is the first war which is completely covered on social media, which is a really weird thing. I go on TikTok and I see live streams from Ukrainian soldiers, which is like, it's I know, it's too much for me. But it's also good because the whole war is covered. So in the best case, there will be less war crime, in the best case. And
this is, the fact that we even say in the best case there will be less war crime, that in itself is the problem in it.
yeah,
That
it is,
we're
but
willing to accept it. That's what I cannot wrap my head around,
no. But for example, what I like is about the whole coverage, about the whole situation is, for example, we see these pictures, people protesting in Russia against the war of Russia against Ukraine. Like back in the days, let's say like Second World War, or maybe even 20 years later, if people would have protested in Russia against the war, we would never have seen it, because these pictures probably wouldn't have made it to the telly, because Putin is quite on the like censoring all the stuff. But the internet is still free, not anymore, at least in Russia. I think they cut down Facebook, Twitter, and stuff. But that we are able to see these pictures give us like this feeling. Okay, it's a war of Russia, but it's not a war of the Russian people. I think this is very, very important, because I also like, I'm following a guy. He's like a travel YouTuber, but he loves to travel into like the weirdest places, or like the weirdest places in Russia and so stuff. Not like Maldives and stuff. And
I'm sorry, just to interrupt you. I think my camera has just gone off.
yeah, that's what I mean. These DSLR cameras.
Right, so I'm just going to go turn my camera on, and you're going to listen to him yap away.
What was I meant to say? Where was I? Yes, it works. Two idiots, one shot. The podcast with a float moment.
Right, so we're back. Got the camera working, so sorry about that, guys. But do you know what? The other thing is that sort of like really been playing on my mind recently is obviously, like just like you, I've been keeping up a lot with what's happening in the news, and one of the things that I'm seeing is that currently with everything that's happening in Ukraine, if you're Ukrainian and you're trying to escape, you've got an easier life than if you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
And that's really messing with me, man.
Yeah.
That's really messing with me, because I've seen like there's like Indian students and stuff like that that are really struggling to get out. One Indian student, I believe, even lost his life.
Yeah.
And they're getting told things like, and again, look, it's just what I see on YouTube and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is true or not, right? But they get told, go back where you came from, stuff like that, And I'm like, shit, man, like, you guys are fucking racist. Like, really, really, like, and like even experts are saying, like that it's a common phenomenon that they're seeing over there. And I'm just like, and this is like really just a tiny, tiny little piece of me, right? That's thinking, is Putin right calling them neo-Nazis?
No, I don't think so.
Because then why are you acting like one?
I know. I think it's obviously it's completely wrong behavior. I know. I might kind of blame the situation. They're all just fearing about the life, which should make you to like a
But everyone's trying to get out, right?
I know, yeah. To be fair, I don't have the right word for it. It's definitely disgraceful. It's not the right behavior. I kind of think it's not an excuse. I don't want to excuse the Ukrainian people, because if it actually happens as it's like stated in the media, then it's definitely a disgrace. But I feel like kind of all nations would act like this. You always look after yourself and your nearest in the first place. You know what I mean?
And again, that's again something that really messes with me,
Yeah.
bro. Like, do you know what? Yeah, like the more like I try and rationalize it, because I rationalized it the way you did. You know, like if this was a different country, would they act the same way? If this was Germany, because obviously I'm a German citizen, right? Would they prioritize me over someone else? And sad fact, like you say, yes, they would.
I think so.
And I'm just
when push
thinking,
comes to shove, yeah.
you know, bro, like you cut my skin, you cut your skin, our blood is still red. You know what I mean? Like intrinsically, we're all the same, but these countries, bro, it just and I look. I'm not saying I'm not a hippie, right? Like, let's make that very clear. I am.
You definitely not, bro.
I'm not peace. I'm not peace and love. Yeah, like I'm not that guy, innit? But
apart from the read part, you know the hip.
yeah, definitely. But do you know what I mean? Like, guys, like. I think it's just, you know, there's enough to go around, and we've got plenty of other issues that we probably should be focusing on. You know, the sheer fact that we've already tapped into, so I believe it was last year at some point, we tapped into the natural resource supplies for future generations to come. So anyone that's alive now is basically living off the future's sort of time span. Right? And I'm like, bro, so if you're having a kid now, if that kid has a kid, they're really going to have problems. Right? So these questions are things that I think are more pressing than something like, you know, like, who is Ukraine going to join NATO or not? Like, you know, like, are there neo-Nazis or not? Like, whatever, I don't care.
No.
But, you know, like, there's so many more pressing things that I just think, like, you know, this whole thing is just very selfish. And
It is. I also try to comprehend what is going on in Putin's head. Like how, like, just okay. Let's imagine, like in a few weeks he has won the war. He is in charge of the Ukrainian country, whatever. How does it affect his life so much that he can justify it, or that he says like, you know, like, does it really have an impact on his life? Maybe on his legacy and stuff, but it's not like that his life changes, like to paying this price, to kill so many people, to get so many people on the run, just for his legacy.
Bro.
Isn't it just a legacy thing eventually? Because for him it doesn't change anything. Like it doesn't change anything. Like
I agree.
Like yeah, the map will change a little bit maybe, but. Obviously, he used to say like, "Oh, there's like a potential danger from Ukraine, but there's not more danger from the Ukraine than from any other country." And I think like it's definitely Putin is a dangerous
Bro,
part
like
here.
you see like barricades, road barricades here, where normal civilians are holding AK-47s because they're like, we're not going to let them just walk in here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, first of all, hats off to you. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Like, if I could ever in my entire life here stand there with a gun, pointing at someone and be like, yo, either you turn around or I'm going to shoot you right now. Innit? Like, bro, like, that thing about taking someone's life, like, you might take someone's life within a split second, but that shit stays with you, innit?
No.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like...
Do you feel more attached to the UK, or do you feel more attached to Germany when it comes to, like, nationality or, like patriotism?
It is
whatever?
Germany, like, you know, and you know, to all our UK listeners, you know, I don't mean this in a bad way or anything, but it's just I was, you know, I was born there, I was raised there, is what I grew up with. You know, I've got a German passport. Yeah, you know, like I feel very attached to Germany. Yeah. Not saying, look, you know, like I've lived in the UK since 2002, so you know, I've essentially outlived the life that I lived in Germany when I was born, and moved over here. And to a certain degree, yes, like, and I know this is going to sound so stupid right now, but like, for example, when the Eurozone or something like that and Germany did go out, yeah, I was supporting England, you know, I was like, yeah, I'll show some loyalty, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, my deep down loyalty does lie with Germany.
And why I ask is like, if Germany would be in this situation,
Yeah.
would you stay and fight or would you flee? I know it's a tough question. It's also a stupid question because you can't really tell unless you're in this situation. But what would be your first feeling, your first initial response?
I would definitely encourage, like, if this was me in the situation, right, and I suppose I would be, yeah, let's fight, like, I'm not going to let someone else decide, like, how my life is going to be. I might die here, like, who knows, but, like, if I die here, it's going to be my decision to have fought for my country and died, if that makes sense. But do you know what, like, it's difficult, bro. Without being in it, and I wouldn't want to say yes because again, like in Ukraine, this is happening right now. Like I don't want to be like, like just because it's happening right now, be like, yeah, I'll definitely do it and whatnot, no, bro. There will be a million things that will go through my head, right? I would need to be able to be at peace with myself after killing someone.
Yeah.
And
No.
that's very difficult. I've got so many moral questions, bro, and like my moral compass is just so far beyond, even if it's my enemy, I'm like, yo, I can't do that, innit? Like taking someone's life, bro. That's
And if you look at these Russian soldiers, a lot of them, like 18, 19 years old, they're little kids, they probably don't even know what they're going for. What is the bigger purpose about it? They just get the what's it called? The
marching orders.
The order, and then
yeah, it's a lot of like, bro. Like the other day, we were talking, like me and my friends, and we're like a lot of us have never experienced war. We don't know what it's like,
Did you ever went to the army? Me either.
No, never did, bro. Like I never did. Like in Germany, I know it's mandatory to do either.
I got invited to. You have to this mandatory check. Yeah. But I have like a disability on my shoulder, and I was also smoking a lot of weed at this time. So what's it called? My appointment was like 2 minutes long. And then like, okay, yeah, you're not not capable of fighting anything.
They literally looked at you and was like, "You hippie, get out."
And at this time, which I read a little bit, at this time I was like fully like anti-military. I don't want to go there, and I dressed like a proper hippie, like a what's it called? Like a wool, like a kind of like a Christmas jumper. Like I look like a very like what's the word? Antique, violent.
Antique.
No, pacif. Anyway, I look like a hippie, like a bloody hippie, which is not something bad, but I definitely give them the message, I don't want to be here. I don't want to get deployed to the army. And they also made it really clear we don't want to be here.
We don't want you employed by the army. Oh, brilliant.
You're not taking the decision here. We take the decision, and you're definitely not in, you fat prick.
Yes, you fucking stone of shit.
But eventually, I'm still having the same opinion. I'm not a fan of I have no patriotism at all. Really, not at all. I know why. Maybe I know. I think it's kind of a German thing because either you're a patriot and you're called out as a Nazi, or you're not. And I'm definitely not. I not feeling attached to German. I feel attached to Hamburg actually. I would fight for Hamburg, not for Germany. No, Schütz die Nutten.
If anyone of you understood that, congrats. Anyone that doesn't, you lot, man, you missed that.
But yeah, patriotism, nationalism is not a thing for me at all. And to the question I asked you, if I would, thanks for like taking the question back to me.
Would you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think probably not. I think I'm a chicken. I would flee. I'm not gonna lie. I think it depends on my surroundings. If if I see, okay, a lot of my mates or whatever decide to stay and fight, I might consider it. But I think I'm also kind of useless. I can't even run 10 minutes without.
Bro, don't forget, right now in Ukraine, it's not a question of like, are you friends doing it? It's a question of, if you are a man and you're healthy, you're here.
True.
You're fighting.
True. Yeah, true. But let's say if I had the choice to make, I would probably say I stay, but give me something to do. I can cook food for soldiers. I can cut hair. I can look after them. But don't give me a weapon. I don't want to shoot anyone.
No, I get you, bro. I fully feel you. And
If it shit hit the fan, if this guy want to shoot me, I shoot him first. But you know what I mean? Like I know. Even after the 3 days of like the G20 Congress in Hamburg, where you could hear like helicopters all the time, the whole city was covered in smoke, all the cars were burning. There was like carnage in the whole city. I even had PTSD from this for like 4 weeks. I don't wanna even imagine how a war would affect me and my mental health. I mean, this is quite a privileged thing to say, like, oh, this will affect more.
no, bro.
Because the Ukrainian people, they have no choice,
thing-
obviously. And
the thing is, like, we should never, at no point, feel bad for the privilege that we have, and I really do believe that, you know, like us living this life, like, it's such a blessing, yeah. But
yeah, man.
you know, like the fact that we never experienced like any of this hardships, you know, having to go through war and stuff like that, when like, you know, in a third world country right now, that's just the most normalest thing. Like I saw something the other day, like they were talking about like how certain parts of Ukraine were being bombed, and this guy left a comment underneath it, and I was just like, you know what, guys, yeah, like I lived with this for years in Gaza, and you know, like there's people out there that really have it hard, and this actually brings me to my next topic, right? There's people out there that have it really hard, but no one really follows up with that shit. You know, like everything is like a buzzword for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Sarah Everhart earlier on, and I'm like, oh my God, how long has it been since I heard that name? You know, Black Lives Matter, bruv, like that, it's died down. You know, it's until the next big thing.
Even COVID.
COVID, bro.
I haven't spoken about COVID the last 3 weeks since it's over.
It's nuts, you know, like the fact that we just ignore it, you know, like of course there's other more pressing things, and I get that, but what there's going to be something else after this, and then we're going to forget about this.
I need to say I also found myself giving myself a hard time with like having this conflict with my own. Why I'm so much more attached, and why do I feel so much more emotional about the Ukraine conflict, and why not on like Gaza, Syria, whatever. I mean, you know, I went to the protests and stuff, and I also feel attached to this, but I can definitely tell there's a difference with Ukrainian people. This feels kind of ashaming, because I know, is it the fact I see white people being attacked? Is this the fact why I'm more attached? I don't know, and I don't, maybe it is. If so, I'm sorry for this. But I can tell, and I can tell I'm definitely more attached to this situation. Maybe because it's closer, maybe because the media coverage is so much more.
I truly believe that's a big driver.
It's definitely a big driver, yeah.
Because it's ever present everywhere.
Yeah.
Wherever you go,
24/7,
right?
24/7.
Like, you know, like with like Gaza and stuff like that, like unless you looked for it, you weren't gonna find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
might get 5 minutes in the evening news.
That's
it's
it.
Like little, no, it's like
that's it. It's like COVID. You know, when COVID was really bad. You know, like the reason why we stuck to the rules is because we had it ever present on the TV. You know, everything was around. Like, let's make sure we look after others. We do that. We do this. And now they're like, oh, you know, don't worry about masks. You know, if you've got COVID, just isolate for 5 days, go back out.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, and I'm literally just sitting here thinking, was this all a sham? Bro, like, it... Oh, man.
No. Wrong one. Oh, shit. Oh. This reminds me of, you know, it's a bit like German rap inside talk. Do you know SSEO?
Yeah.
This is one song where he said like, oh, is this a Glockenbeat? Is this a Glockenbeat?
SSCO.
Yeah.
Yo, I think this has been a very good comeback episode so far. I'm really enjoying this, you know?
Yeah, man.
Like, you guys obviously can't see it, but we see ourselves on the screen here. And I'm like, I really like the way this looks. And
best looking sexy podcast I've ever seen in my life.
For all the viewers that have now turned off. YouTube's like, yeah, we're definitely going to demonetize this shit, you fuckers. Amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I won 200 quid.
Shit. Let's talk about it. How did you win 200 quid?
So I've went to a tattoo station, and I got a tattoo on my ass that says your name. And then I went to Alex. I said, Alex, listen, I bet 200 quid that I have your name on my ass. And he was like, nah, bro, why should you have my name on your ass? Like, 200 quid, I have your name tattooed on my ass. And he agreed. He gave me 200 pounds. I pull blank, and there was your name on my ass.
So now you guys tell me, is it what's the take from this, right? The fact that he has a tramp stamp, or the fact that he has a tramp stamp that has my name on it. I don't know, man. Next time someone's trying to get entry into your, but who the fuck is Alex?
No, the joke is actually a mate of mine done this. He was working on Mallorca, selling like tickets for party boats on the beach. And he does like every summer season, and he had actually a tattoo on his ass cheek. It was like "Dein Name," your name, but not everyone's name, just "Dein Name."
Yeah.
Then he went to all this like already like pissed people on the beach, like, listen, 10 quid, I have your name on my ass, and he made a good side hustle with it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Come on, man.
But no, the reason why I want more 200 quid is one of my work colleagues on my actual day job sent me a link she found on Instagram about like a photography competition from a site called Pexels. It's like a stock photography site where you can upload your picture.
Yep.
And it's completely useless for photographers, in my opinion, because you upload your picture, you lose your right on your picture, and everyone can download it for free. So it's a nice page if you need license-free photos for free. For every photographer, I can't really recommend. But this page also runs regularly competitions.
Oh, no.
And one of the competitions was, it was called UK Passport. So the brief was basically send us a picture which is somehow UK related. Fucking hell. Fucking.
I'm just going to hold it like this, apparently. Anyway.
So, I mean, it's not long to go anymore. You hold it.
Yeah, hold it.
But don't hold it on the actual microphone.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, Jesus. He just keeps turning, all right? Don't judge. All right,
Or should I pause and you read?
Yeah, let's pause it. Yes.
Okay, so
we're back.
and they had a competition called UK Passport. The brief was send us a photo which is somehow UK related. And so a work colleague just sent me a link for this competition. And, months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago, and I've just uploaded. It was like shortly after I had this my Baker Street photo.
Oh yeah. That's a very good one. If you haven't checked it
people
out,
who
check
don't
it
know
out.
photography, so it's a photo. Maybe you guys know the Baker Street station. It's a really nice tube station. It's very old school. Actually, some parts of Sherlock Holmes were recorded in the station.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
And I took a really nice street shot, a candid shot in the station, which already kind of got a lot of good feedback on Instagram. It got shared a lot, blah blah. So I've uploaded this photo to this competition, the UK Passport, and I completely forgot about it because I haven't heard back from them for months. But this is not unusual. Sometimes you just upload your pictures to some competitions, and then at some point someone wins. You don't even noticing it. So as this is an American company, I got an email on I was a Thursday night, 10:30 or something.
Yeah.
From the community manager of Pexels, hey, we just want to let you know your picture made the first prize of 2,560 pictures.
Damn, Daniel.
Oh no, shit.
That's about it, innit? I'm actually just looking it up, trying to find your picture. I can't find it,
Okay.
Where is it? Why can't I find it?
I
So I'm going to show them in the camera what the picture is.
think if you just...
But yeah, anyway, so they send you a message saying that you want it.
Yeah, and I was very suspicious because who's sending me a message at
A Nigerian prince wants your money.
yeah, 10:30 on a Thursday night to tell me, because it was to receive the amount, you need to. Okay, I can't find it either. You need to. Oh, here it is.
Sweet.
You need to fill out this invoice, blah blah, and this company is somehow connected with Canva, this design program. So I had to issue an invoice for Canva. And what are you up to?
I just want to show you.
I see.
See? That's it. Oh, wait. Is he going to focus? Oh, it's not going to focus, is it? Nope. Maybe if I show it in here. No, okay, well, that was fucking dead. Anyway. We'll just have to throw the picture in.
Yeah, I will edit it in the video. So I had to issue an invoice for Canva. I was like, this, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And they had a very strange process, like a kind of an intern platform. I had to add my details, blah blah. I was like, it was suspicious, but I went through the process, and like a week later, I had 200 quid on my PayPal. I was like, this is nice.
What'd you do with that money?
I bought a new lens, 35 mil lens from Samyang, which is quite nice actually. But yeah, and then it kind of like confirmed myself, because I know people who have listened to this podcast, I have this like big conflict with Instagram myself. I hate Instagram.
It's a very good start for every creator out there, digital creator. Yeah, start hating Instagram.
No, but I must say, I use Instagram as a creator, as a photographer every time, but I hardly use Instagram as a consumer anymore. I don't know what reels are boring to me. All the photos, I don't know. I'm not really using it as a consumer anymore.
Fair dues.
And I'm also fucked up by this fact, like, I know what it is, but the algorithm has changed again, and the engagement went down, and blah, blah. And eventually you load up a picture on Instagram because obviously you want engagement. Otherwise you don't need to do it. But yeah, so I was looking I was like, I need more reasons to do photography. Because, I mean, I do photography for myself, but if you never show if you never show anyone your pictures, I know, you know what I mean. Like, you want to see your work seen.
No, I get that.
And like, there's no, also for me, I mean, yeah, I have photos I've never posted. I love these photos, but eventually you will get your work seen. I have this ambition that people see my work.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which way. Is it like an exhibition, a book, whatever. And so yeah, I needed kind of like a reason to go out and to do photography. And I shifted away from Instagram. I'm still posting and stuff, but it's not my main intention anymore, or my main motivation to go out and do photography. I kind of like split up on, like, I do photography for my Etsy page. I do photography for other competitions. I'm on a registered on page. It's like a page. It's called I forgot, but they have listed all photography competitions worldwide.
Oh, cool.
On one page. So I always look like, what kind of different topics are there, and then I might focus on one of these topics. And because I feel like Instagram is a very toxic relationship between me and Instagram. It's a very toxic relationship since months, and I can tell she's getting into my head, and and I just want to be loved. Well,
Somebody just love me, please.
no, but you know what I mean. Like, and
I get it.
to quickly touch on my future goals. Fuck all these, like, if I get a lot of Instagram followers at some point in my life, nice, I take it. If someone wants me to be an ambassador for, like, Sony, whatever, I'm taking it. But it's not my main ambition to become like a big guy in the Instagram game. I have two main goals for this year, or maybe for the next year, but I want to start with it this year. One thing will be publishing my own photo book with street photography, probably with a certain topic. It might be underground, like London tube photography.
Yeah.
But this will be a long process. I might gather photos over like 2 or 3 years and then eventually publish the book. And I want to have like a magazine, a magazine publication. You know what?
Yeah.
And Chat Evermore, this page.
Caviar.
Yeah. I wanna come with a nice concept. It's probably something we will work together on, and I think
No,
like
100%.
like a magazine publication would be something which would be really nice.
Definitely. Magazine publication, I'm fully there with you. I had a chance towards the latter part of last year. Unfortunately, I messed it up. Again, it's a learning curve. You sort of just learn from your mistakes. It's really sad that you sort of feel bad about the team that was there. You let the whole team down. It was a collaboration, so yeah, it was unfortunate. You learn from your mistakes. I apologize, to every person in the team. Designer wasn't too happy with it. I think they never wanted to work with me again, and neither was the stylist.
But yeah,
these things happen.
yeah.
Overall, even recently, people have been asking me, where do you sort of see you going with your photography, and what is it you want to do and stuff like that, and because I did my friend's little one, so I've got a good friend of mine whose daughter just had her first birthday, and she asked me, she was like, oh, do you mind coming around taking some pictures? I was like, hey, it's all good. I don't mind coming around doing the pictures, but I don't like doing these posed pictures and stuff. And she was just like, no, it's all good. I just want memories type thing, I'm like, that I can do.
Yeah.
I can do, yeah. So I went and I have to say, even I was impressed with some of the shots that I ended up with, yeah. And I showed it to some of my friends, and they go to me, they're like, why don't you do this? You're clearly good at it, right? And I'm like, so you see the difference is, I like to be my own creator. I like to come up with a concept, maybe work with someone else on the concept, but, I have that freedom to be able to do this. And also, to a certain degree, I'm a bit of a... All right, that's it. I'm not turning that camera back on. That's it. We're done. No, we're leaving that camera the way it is. Or should I just turn it on?
Nah, leave it.
Yeah?
We're finishing.
Okay, we'll leave it. So I said to them, I was like, look, if a friend asks me, I'll happily do it because you're a friend, and I just want to do it for my friends. But it's not something that I enjoy doing. So also I think to a certain degree I'm a bit of a chicken, because the minute you accept someone's payment, you now have that pressure to deliver. If it's your own project, it's like, okay, if you fucked up, fuck it, you fucked up, Alex. If it's your project, I have to say, oh, bro, I'm really sorry. Yeah? Imagine it's like a location you only could rent for once a year or something like that. It's things like that. And I know, people say take that leap and stuff like that, and that's how you learn and whatnot, yeah. But right now, I find that's still too much pressure for me. So my aim this year is, so we're going to double down, obviously, with YouTube on Two Idiots, and I personally want to start my own YouTube channel as well. And so that's going to be my focus. I've thought a lot about this because recently, I've been thinking about, should I be getting new equipment, new gear, and stuff like that. And I've got a really good friend of mine who's really starting to get into photography now as well, and he's talking about so the 90D is obviously a very easy one to start with, and stuff like that. But then you've got the EOS R models and stuff like that go up from there. And he's already talking to me about that, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get one of these." And I'm like, "Bro, be my guest." And I'm like, "If you can't afford that, be my guest." Yeah, I'm literally "Yo, by the way, when you've got it, can I borrow it?" And I was telling you about the lenses and stuff like that. But my point is I am finding people around me more and more now that are really starting to find their creativity and their personality and what they want to do. And like I was saying to the lady earlier, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years with all of this. I really don't. But I'd rather try it and be you know what, I tried it, than just not try it and just be forever oh, I wish I would have done a podcast in it.
For example, I also got rid of this thought of the idea of making photography for my living full time at some point.
Yeah,
I'm not see that coming. Yeah. it can happen. You never know how life goes, and I think like the skill set is kind of there. So I could go into this direction at some point. But as you said, like it's so much pressure, and I still remember from my DJ days. Sometimes I had some gigs were like corporate gigs for the like media business and stuff. They paid me a ridiculous amount of money for like 6 hours DJing, but I was shitting myself. I was like, this guy is paying me like 1,100 quid. I can't mess it up. Like, there's no way to mess it up. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What's 1,100 quid? So this man just said 1,100 quid in Germany, and when he goes like 1,100 quid.
Sorry.
Love it. How seamless and smooth that transition was, you know.
But you get what I mean. It would be the same with photography. I had like little paid gigs where I get like, I don't know, like 100 quid or something. But even then, I was feeling the pressure, and I don't want to have this pressure. It's a passion. I love doing it, and as I said, you never know. We have no idea where we are in 5 years, but it's not like I'm not working towards a goal. Like, I know next year at this point, I will do photography for my main living. I have definitely, as I said, with a book, for example, like I have things on my like kind of like what should I call it, like legacy list I want to achieve. You know, because fuck the money if I have a book with my work in my shelf.
Bro, that's
fucking
someone, gas, you know.
If maybe
that's
someone has bought a book with my photography.
That's bad.
I still have no idea what kind of, maybe I do even a book where I will exhibit work from different London-based photographers. Maybe I have still no idea, but I luckily have someone at my day job who is very into book publishing and stuff, and the way how you can publish books on your own, which is nowadays.
Can you tell he's German?
Yeah, he's definitely German. Shout out to the internet, because like it's so easy to make a podcast, put it on Spotify. It's so easy as a musician, put your music up on all kind of internet platforms, and it's also nowadays much easier to publish a book on your own, because you can like do on-demand services, for example, and those kind of vibes. But yeah, let's see.
I definitely like the idea of maybe getting together with creatives across London, because that might again open avenues that you haven't thought of.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even all of this that we're doing right now, bro, like I strongly believe that, like, you know, it's all going to be a contribution towards the final end product. You know, the day that we really break through that ceiling, we're going to look back at all of this and be like, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, it was so worth going through all of this.
No, I was, for example, quite impressed when I went to Hamburg. I went to Hamburg a few weeks ago for a few days, and I found this page on Instagram. It's called Street Collective Hamburg. It's like
I saw that. Yeah.
Like a collective of Hamburg street photographers. Like I think there are eight people. Just like many people meeting up sometimes for like street walks, whatever. But they're also doing exhibitions twice a year and stuff, because they're all just passionate photographers. They have their normal everyday jobs, but every single one of these 8 people bring in different skills. Same with you and me.
Yeah.
So for them, coming up with an exhibition is the easiest, because there are 8 people. One does this, one does this, one does this, one does this. Yeah. And I really like the dynamic of it, because they achieve so much more as a collective. And I also like the fact that I went back to Hamburg, the place where I used to grow up, where I know so many people. And the first thing I've done, which is kind of my new London mindset, I've just met up with strangers.
Yeah, no, bro, it's standard, isn't it? It's. I think
I just love networking nowadays. It's so much fun meeting new people with like-minded people.
I honestly, I couldn't agree more. Like, I know we're sort of running out of time here as well, so let's try and wrap this up. But let me just quickly bring this in as well. So, last Wednesday and Thursday, there was the London Cloud Expo on, right? And so with my 9-to-5 job, you know, I had to go down there and mingle and everything, which is all fair and well, because, you know, I'm trying to build these partnerships in the UK. It's just, obviously, it's the London Cloud Expo, and you know, I have no technical know-how, right? So I am the worst when it comes to technology, yeah? But I work for a technology company and I work in sales. If you're asking why, it's literally like, I sell with my personality. I don't, like with nothing else. I sell with my personality, and it just comes off a lot better when I'm in person with someone, right? So I went there, and literally, like almost every stand I went to, I was just like, "Yo, before we start talking, I need to tell you, I'm not technical. So whatever you explain to me, make sure you explain it like you're explaining it to your grandma." What's the first thing that happens right there? They smile at you, right? And once they smile at you, bro, the ice is broken. Yeah. Like I walked out of there with so many phone numbers, from guys. Unfortunately, with from guys. Very good, very good. And where I know, like, there's some business there, like, I like when you say, like, I love the networking side of it and stuff. Like, I fully have embraced it since I started doing photography. That's who I am, and I really enjoy it. I really like bro. Back in the days, brother, I look at you and be like, no, fuck that. I'm not talking to this guy. Like, literally, bro. I would not talk to you. I would not look at you. But photography has helped me come out of my shell, and for that, I'm forever grateful.
Why especially me?
Huh?
Why wouldn't you talk to me?
Why would I talk to you?
Yeah.
I probably
what is it? What has put you off on my face?
I think that's pretty much it. Your face. Come on. No, that's it. No, but I think on that note, look, guys, we're 1 hour 6 minutes in. I think we've done a great recap. So season 2, expect a lot more from us. We promise you we'll be delivering quantity over quality.
Yeah. We also have a new logo.
No. We're doing quality over quantity.
Quantity over quality was last year. This year we tried the other way around. We want to try quality over quality.
That's it. We've learned from our mistakes.
People told us, because we always thought like it's quantity over quality, but people told us try it the other way around, and we want to give it a try.
And I promise you, I'm going to try and not be stoned on any of these episodes so that we can actually have a good, proper, pucker conversation.
I quickly mention we also have a new logo, which is very nice. I love it.
We'll be introducing it soon. Yeah,
we will introduce it soon. When you hear this podcast episode, you will also see the new logo. And
absolutely.
It's nice being back.
It's very nice.
It is feeling right. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And I really love the new environment.
And do you know what? Yeah, like to a certain degree, I just love the fact that I can just come on here and just sort of like pull my heart out and not have to second think it. Yeah. Like it's fucking amazing.
We're basically among us, like.
That's it. Among us, but. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and peace out.